Welcome back to the Dr. Rob Show. Well, my next guest isn't your average 8-year-old. He has a passion and a unique love for sound, specifically wind chimes. Tyler Doi joins me now via Skype to talk more about his special gift and how it's helping raise awareness for autism. And he's also with his dad, Sean. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Hey, Dr. Rob, how are you?
Well, you know, I watched the YouTube video, and I hope everybody out there will see that video of you, Tyler. But basically, you have developed this love for wind chimes. So, Sean, give us a little background on Tyler and his developmental history and his diagnosis.
Well, it was probably about 1 year of age or so where we noticed he had a few, I guess it wasn't hitting the typical milestones that has been published for kids of that same age. Things such as waving hi or waving bye, saying one word here or there, maintaining eye contact with people, and as well, he had a lot of sensitivity to sound and certain feelings and sensations and such. And just putting all that together, we started doing a little bit of research and spoke to our doctor. And after a lot of consultation and testing around the age of 3, he was officially diagnosed with ASD.
Okay, so, you know, one of the things that you point out there is that we always talk about many children in the special needs community have this unevenness of skills. They have, you know, certain skills that they struggle with that might be immature, but they have these other skills that really are fantastic. And I always say that the children that end up with many of these labels are really gifted children. And so what we see with Tyler is that he has this incredible ability to understand sound and to recognize sound and to really memorize it and remember it. And that's really amazing. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? And then I'd like to hear from Tyler as far as, you know, what he loves about wind chimes.
What do you like about wind chimes?
I like them because how they look and how they sound.
And
I guess it was around the age of 3 when he had different fascinations, such as hot air balloons and stars and bird feeders. And it was at one point where he went out for a drive looking for bird feeders and saw a wind chime. And it was from there that the wind chime fascination just took off like anything.
Well, you know, what I think is great is that he's taken that fascination now and he's actually motivated the people at the Woodstock Wood Chimes to create an autism chime. And that's really incredible. So I want to know, Tyler, did you have anything to do with designing the chime for autism? And what do you think about it? Do you like that sound?
Yes. Yes.
So Sean, did they ask him, or did they ask for any input from Tyler or from you guys when they designed this? Because I understand that you guys were really pretty much the motivation for them doing this.
They didn't directly ask us for any input on the design, but when we did go down to Woodstock Chimes for a visit, they asked us at the time if we would like to be involved with some of the development or I guess some of the marketing behind the wind chime, and we were more than happy to oblige. We were very honored that they were doing all this through a great part through Tyler's inspiration.
Well, I think that, you know, the fact is that, you know, they're raising money and awareness, which we're all talking about. That's why we have this show. There's not enough awareness of this community and what can be done to help. So it's great. So if you had to pick out a favorite chime, Tyler, what would you pick out as your favorite sound?
Emperor Gong, King David, Healing, and Patrick O'Kenny, and Aloha.
Okay, well, I also saw in the video that you actually could identify the sounds better than the person who created them, which was absolutely amazing because you have this incredible sound. Do you like any other aspect of music? Do you play any instruments?
No.
Are you interested in doing that? Okay, so you just stick with the wood chimes, and that's great, and hopefully maybe when you grow up you'll help to design some as well. So we want to know that people can get in touch with you. Is there a website or something that they can go to?
Yes. If people go to www.chimes.com, there is a link on that website that goes right to a special page featuring autism and the Woodstock Chimes for Autism, where they can view his YouTube video. And you can also purchase the autism chime. And as you mentioned, Dr. Rob, all the proceeds from sales of the chime go towards autism treatment and research.
Well, that's fantastic. And again, you know, I think what you guys are doing is fantastic. Tyler, I think you're a great young man, and I'm sure that we're going to hear a lot about you and what you're doing, and thank you for all that you're doing and your family's doing for families with autism and special needs in general. So thank you. Sean and Tyler Doy, thank you so much for joining us today. So don't go away, because when we come back, Carolyn and I head into the kitchen with some healthy snacks and food that you might want to put on your next shopping list. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the Dr. Rob Show. As many of you know, a healthy lifestyle starts with the food you put in your body every day. It's never too early to start teaching your children the importance of good nutrition and diet. Today, Carolyn and I have some examples of foods and snacks that you might want to introduce to your little ones, and we have 2 taste testers with us today. So,
okay, well, this is actually a craft for a rainy day. This is something that I think kids should always be involved in cooking and making their foods. Instead of buying processed foods, it's great to know exactly what you're putting in your body. So we have some cookie dough here. And, well, before we do anything, we're going to spray our hands with, put your hands over here like this, a little coconut oil.
and this is Katie and Brian, and they're actually
we have Katie
twins.
and Brian here, that's right. Now wipe it off a little bit. There you go. And now I'm going to give you both a nice big wad of cookie dough. All right, and this is what I did with my kids.
Now eat it all right now.
Don't eat it all. And in fact, you can break it up into little pieces, but I want you guys to make a beautiful creation for me. I want you to think of whatever you can think of and be a sculptor and make some beautiful creation with the cookie dough, because later you're going to cook it and then you could take it home and actually eat it. But the most important thing of all is that this cookie dough, go ahead guys, start, go ahead.
If you want to sculpt me, that's okay.
Yes, try to
Right, so-
sculpt Dr. Malillo. I just want to go over a little bit of what is in this cookie dough, because Brian, you're casein and gluten-free, right? And maybe you could just take a little taste of the dough and tell me if, or you know what, maybe we shouldn't, because it's got a little bit of egg in it, even though I always ate it as a
Egg
kid.
is okay. He's not egg-free, I don't think.
Yeah,
I think
but
we
it's
should-
not cooked.
Okay.
So, do you find that foods taste good? Do you have a problem with that, or you're a good eater?
I'm a good eater.
You're a good eater. Well, this is something that not only tastes good, but it's part of a creative process with the children. And for lack of time, I didn't bring all of the ingredients in, but I just want to go over a few things. Instead of butter, Crisco is all vegetable, and it's a shortening, and it's vegetarian, and it really gives a lot of texture and flavor to the cookies. There are different kinds of flours, rice flour.
That's the biggest issue, I think, with people, is that they need to find flours that are gluten-free, but from a lot of the experts that we've even had on the show, it's really how you mix those flours together that makes all the difference.
And some flours are better than others. For example, brown rice flour is great for flour mix. White rice flour is not. Sweet rice flour is fantastic for most baking things and thickening sauces and gravies. Potato flour is dense and heavy and is great in cookies and cakes. Quinoa flour, or quinoa, oh, I can't believe I just said that. Quinoa flour is not great for putting in bread.
And that's it. That's why a lot of people complain that gluten-free breads don't really feel like real bread, and a lot of it is based on the flours that they use and how they mix them.
The best flour of all is basically tapioca and millet. So
This is really
I
good.
think that it's really important for people to know when they go out there that you have all these different ingredients available to you in the supermarkets. You don't have to buy packaged foods. You can make it yourself. We have a Twitter, okay, from Ellen Notbaum. Be reasonable. If he's not an adventurous eater at home, a restaurant isn't a place to expect him to try new foods or even new smells, which is absolutely right.
Yeah, that's a good tip. That's a good tip.
Because a lot of people with children with special needs should be cooking special foods for their kids, and it's very hard when you go to a restaurant to expect them to provide that for the children.
That's why calling ahead of time to the restaurant and making sure, going online and seeing, maybe even having the child review the menu before they get there is actually a good tip as well.
Yes, absolutely, because they can't have gluten or casein. They can't do
Right.
it a little bit. It
Right,
will
has to
really
be
make
complete.
a difference if any of it is reintroduced into their bodies. So it's
How is
very
it-
important.
How are our guys doing here, you think?
This
Okay.
this is amazing.
Are they gonna
Okay,
get a chance to taste
Brian
some of
is
this?
making a happy face cookie, which is really wonderful. I didn't think of taking cookies out of the middle, and that's a very creative thing. And what are you making for us, Katie?
Oh,
she
she's
used
used, wow, she
the
used
chips, which are carob chips. They're not chocolate chips, to make a very, very happy face. So now we have some examples too. We have a soccer player and a heart. And we have a flower and a teddy bear. And most of all, why don't you two tell me how you think these taste?
Tell me if other kids would eat that.
They would eat that.
They would eat that? Is that good?
Yeah,
You think you can
very.
make this recipe with mommy at home?
It's interesting because they made the same design but in a different way.
That's right. It's almost like opposite.
Exactly.
Do you think your friends would like to come over and sit here and create cookies and different designs? Do you think that's a fun thing to do with your friends? And then they get to go home with their cookie creations, right? Oh, and I see you're just doing a beautiful job.
Okay, great. Well, again, I want to thank Brian and Katie and Carolyn for these great tips and all of our guests today. And we will see you next time. Thank you. Remember, there's always hope, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us.